You receive a terse message. No exclamation point, no emoji, none of the usual warmth. And your day changes completely. Your mind starts to picture the scene. Is this person angry with me? Did I do something wrong? Did I say too much? Are they avoiding me? Then comes the meeting. The boss makes a comment in the wrong tone, and everything you were trying to hold back crumbles inside. You try to continue. You smile. You respond normally. But inside, something heavy has taken over. You arrived home after a long, tiring day, your head full of bills, fear, and thoughts you didn't ask for. And one small thing, just one, was enough to throw you into a hole you don't know how to get out of. And then you think, why am I like this? Why can't I be stronger? Why does everything affect me so much? Before you continue attacking yourself with that question, I need you to hear this. Maybe the problem isn't that you feel too much. Maybe the problem is that you've been carrying too much for too long. Subscribe to the channel now. Here at The Calm Method, we talk about practical psychology, mental habits, and emotional control in a way that makes sense for real life. And comment below, where are you watching this video from? I want to know where this audience comes from. Society has a name for those who feel intensely. It calls it drama, neediness, weakness, being too sensitive, as if feeling deeply were a factory defect, something that needed to be fixed or hidden. And many people have spent years hearing this, from family, from work colleagues, from relationships. You need to be stronger. That's just being dramatic. Don't make such a big deal out of it. And then, in addition to sadness, the person also carries the shame of being sad. But psychology shows a completely different path. Easy sadness, in most cases, is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of a nervous system that's at its limit, of a mind that has spent so much time in alert mode that it now interprets anything as a threat, of a brain that has been trained to expect pain, rejection, and disappointment, because that's what it has frequently encountered. This is not weakness, but it also cannot continue to control your life. Now I want to talk to you who are always struggling financially, who work too much, sleep too little, earn enough to survive, but not enough to breathe, who look at your phone and see someone living a life that seems unattainable, who feel that pang of, I should be further ahead than I am. You don't start the day from scratch. You start the day already burdened, with yesterday's unresolved worries, with the bill due next week, with the feeling that time is passing and you're standing still. Your emotional system is already overloaded before you even open the first app of the day. And then, when something small happens, it's not that small thing that knocks you down. It's the drop that overflows from a cup that's been full for weeks. The sadness you feel isn't about the dry message. It's about everything that the dry message triggered. It's about the fear of not being enough. It's about years of trying and starting over. It's about the exhaustion you don't even have time to process. Understanding this is not an excuse. It's a starting point. Let me explain what happens inside your head when sadness hits you easily, because it has a name and an explanation. When your nervous system is chronically overloaded, the brain enters a state that neuroscientists call emotional hypervigilance. Basically, it starts treating small stimuli as if they were major threats. Criticism becomes condemnation. Silence becomes rejection. A plan that didn't work out becomes proof that you'll never succeed. And that's where the loop begins. You relive conversations. You imagine how people see you. You anticipate failures that haven't even happened yet. You rehearse responses to conflicts that may not exist. And your body can't distinguish a real threat from a threat you've constructed in your head. It reacts as if it were real. Your heart races. Your head feels heavy. Your energy drains away. And when you live without routine, sleep poorly, spend hours on your phone consuming comparison and cheap dopamine, and still try to endure it all silently on the outside, your ability to regulate emotions decreases. Not because you are weak, because any human being in those conditions becomes like that. But there's something that needs to be said clearly now. Easy sadness cannot become your identity. It cannot become your home. It cannot become the role you play in every conversation, in every relationship, on every difficult day. Feeling deeply can explain your pain, but it can't become a justification for abandoning your own life. You didn't choose to feel everything so intensely, but you need to learn not to hand over control to every emotion that comes along. You don't need to become cold. You need to become trained. And here at the Calm Method, training the mind is exactly about that. If this video is making sense to you, leave a like now. This really helps the channel reach more people who need to hear exactly this. Sadness is a signal, like the warning light on a car's dashboard. When it comes on, you don't ignore it. But you also don't stop the car in the middle of the road and just stare at it forever. You take it to the mechanic, you understand what's happening, and you act. So let's talk about how to act, because knowledge without direction is just another video you watched and forgot. When sadness comes, and it will come, this is the process. First, name what you're feeling without attacking yourself. Not, I'm awful for feeling this way. Just, I'm feeling overwhelmed right now. I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling rejected. Naming the emotion reduces its intensity. This is proven by neuroscience. Second, separate fact from interpretation. The fact is, the person responded with a short message. The interpretation is, they are angry. They hate me. I'm going to lose this relationship. You can deal with the fact. The interpretation is where the mind creates chaos. Third, ask yourself aloud if you need to, is this pain from now or old pain being activated? Much of the sadness you feel today wasn't born today. It was activated today. There's a huge difference between the two, and recognizing that already gives you enough distance to breathe. Fourth, take a small, immediate physical action. Get up, drink water, take a walk around the block, tidy up a corner of the house, take a shower. Write 3 lines about how you're feeling. The body in motion sends a signal to the brain that you're not paralyzed. This breaks the loop. Fifth, choose a minimal action for reconstruction, not a life transformation. One thing. Answer an important message. Prepare a decent meal. Go to bed on time. Don't let sadness decide your entire day. It can exist, but you are still responsible for its direction. And speaking of direction, the habits that surround your routine have a direct impact on how you deal with emotions. A mind that sleeps poorly is more vulnerable. A mind that spends hours comparing itself on social media is more dysregulated. A mind that has no routine has no emotional anchors. You don't need motivation to change this. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions are unstable. What you need is repetition. Small habits applied consistently train the brain to regain control. Sleeping at a similar time every day, reducing cell phone use in the early morning hours, having at least one part of the day that is yours, without noise, without comparison, without pressure. This is not a luxury. It's basic maintenance for your mind. The person who gets sad easily probably notices more than most, feels more, processes more, and precisely for that reason, they often carry more burdens alone, more emotional responsibility, more years trying to cope without asking for help, more sleepless nights with thoughts that no one knows exist. This isn't a flaw, but now is the time to learn to deal with it methodically, with limits and with direction. not to become insensitive, but to stop being held hostage by every sadness that appears at the door. The question isn't whether you feel too much. The question is, for how long will you let every sadness define who you are? You are not the dry message you received. You are not the criticism that caught you off guard. You are not the bill that doesn't add up. You are not the plan that hasn't happened yet. You are the person who is still here, who still wants to understand, who still wants to improve. And that, in itself, says a lot about who you really are. This isn't weakness, but it can become a prison if you never learn to train your mind to come back. Comment below, "I'm going to take back control." If you're tired of letting your mind wander over anything, write that down. Not for me, for you. Leave a like if this video put into words something you've felt for years. This helps the channel grow and reach more people who need to hear exactly that. And if you want to continue on this path of practical psychology, mental habits, and emotional control, sign up for the Calm Method now. The video that's playing on the screen now continues this topic in a way that'll make even more sense after what you just watched. Go check it out.